Hello everyone, Simon here from the Whales of Wall Street. Hope you're doing fantastically well wherever you are. We're going to be looking at Verasity here today, VRA on the exchange. Before we do so, go and check out our other videos, different topics, different discussions always, and some rabbit hole ones as well, which are really cool. Don't forget also to please subscribe if you have not done so already to the channel, and make sure you hit that bell button as well so you make sure that you do not miss any of the awesome videos coming your way from the channel. So guys, let's take a quick look at Verasity updates here before we go into the chart and we see some of my buy options that I've put as in orders at lower regions than what we are today, and my strategy behind that, as well as what we're doing right now. First of all, let's take a look at the Q2 updates. Absolutely crazy that we're halfway through July already. Q2 is out, so this is covering April, May and June, of course. So a couple standout points. Proof of View VRA Views is now live with the select Brightcove customers. So the website is now available, and people, or indeed businesses in this instance, are able to go on here, request a demo, see what it's all about. And this is really good in my opinion. This is the fruition of all the talk that we had months and months ago, the integration with Brightcove. And I think quite recently, a lot of people have been questioning, like, what is going on with proof of view? Where is this proof of view mechanism? Can we actually see results or case studies of this? And finally, we've seen the results. It's now live, it's ready to go, and companies can now have this integrated as an ad stack system in their back end to be able to see the verification of views, the removal of fraudulent views, fake bots, fake revenue. And I can see, I know there's partners, like big partners already, but imagine like how many SMEs are out there, small, medium enterprises and small businesses, etc., that could really help with have help from this as well. And that kind of ties nicely as well into these extra aspects here with the NFT marketplace. Now, if you remember, we did a video ages ago about the implementation of proof of view enabled smart contracts for NFTs as well. This was kind of on the back of all those fake NFTs that were going about, suggesting that they're originals when they actually weren't, and they were basically obviously taking a lot of money off people for these fake NFTs. So when you are looking at like the originality, especially with like art, and we talk about digital assets in general, this isn't just about advertising and things like this. It's also the documentation and verification and processing of any kind of digital art, digital asset in that application. And I think it's really important to understand that Verasity is quite ahead of this game. We saw the patents, we covered all of those last year, as well as this Brightcove integration. I think it's really important to just emphasize that now they've got this new business development manager in and a team in. I think we're going to see some really big results from Verasity by the end of the year. And that's on top of all the other things that it's doing as well that we haven't got mentioned here. I mean, we'll just mention a couple more. So the VRA wallet, those that don't have that, that is the wallet that's on the browser, VRAwallet.tv. And you can stake your Verasity tokens, 18.25% APY, which is still really good. And I think that runs out in March, so there's still plenty of time to get involved with that if you're not on it already. But they have the integration of the automated KYC now, and they also have the development of the mobile app also. And this involves kind of like what they call the VRA card through the VRA wallet on your phone as well. So they've partnered here with Damex, I think it's Damex. .io, and people are able to basically try and obtain rewards in VRA tokens that they can convert to fiat and spend on shopping via this app. Now, I'm a big fan of these kind of developments, but I'm kind of like don't want to have so many different apps and so many different tokens to be paying for different things all the time. It's not for me personally, but like there's people out there that would really benefit from this, especially if you're a big Verasity holder and you want to be able to utilize your tokens in that way. So it's whatever your personal preference is, really, to be honest. And here's a couple of screenshots. You can go on the website VRA Views as well to check this out yourself. Obviously, you can't like log in fully unless you're signed up, kind of thing. But very, very interesting. And they do mention the point about the challenging market that we're in, but actually the developments are still ongoing, really positive. If you remember in the last, or one of the last few update videos that we did, there was a tokenomics update and people were like screaming and some people were like angry about it. It's like, well, they're just protecting it. They're protecting their project and their technology. And I think this is a great thing. They don't have to lose people like a lot of other businesses or projects in the crypto space are doing right now. They're planning ahead, and I think it's a really good business model that they've got. They're clearly switched on. And if you look at the tokenomics properly, you'll understand that actually this is really good, especially with the burn mechanism. And I believe in the massive future of Verasity. I truly think this will be potentially a dollar token by the time we get to 2025, 2026. And we'll look at that in the chart in a second to kind of like think about that a bit more. But I'm looking forward, guys, really to the Q3 update. I think a lot's going to happen in that time. I think there's going to be quite a few partnerships, like big maybe company announcements of their ad stack tech being integrated into those, and many other things as well. Do let us know in the comments below what you think about all of this as a VRA holder. If you're not a Verasity holder, it's not a problem. You've still got plenty of time, and I do think we're in good areas right now. But yeah, just have a think about this token, because I do think it's got a unique technology. And of course, like the VRA views, I just touched on this before we go into the charts and stuff. The VRA Esports Platform is really cool because you can log in, you can sign up, and you can start earning tokens from viewing esports competitions and streaming and all this stuff, which is really cool. We've covered this before. I'm not going into massive detail, but why not? Like, why watch like game streaming for free when you can watch it and get paid? Like, that's the philosophy I have on it. And before we go into my trading view screen, I just want to point this out because the trading view doesn't go back this far. One of the key reasons why I'm accumulating right now and also have lower buy points in, I wanted to look at the proper historic information here for Verasity. Okay, so beyond the sub 1 cent mark, tenth of a cent mark here that we see on the chart here, it's like 0.09, we'll just call it 1 cent. You can see on two spectrums here, you've got this current area and you've got the area back here in 2021, which leads back actually further in that year as well. The reason I'm pointing this out is going to become apparent in the chart on TradeView in a second, because this is why I'm looking at these lower areas, and I want you to pinpoint this area here back in roughly around February 2021. I'm just going to zoom in. It's this around this area that I'm talking about here. Okay, and if I marked this, it's around about 0.0027. So what I've done is I've marked that on the chart so we know the reference point. I just wanted to show you for verification processes and validity that that's what we are talking about here. So let's go into that, guys. So I've drawn that out. You can't see it just yet because basically it's zoomed out. But you can see I've actually got like 3 lines here at the bottom. We drew the first 2 top ones in, I think, the last video or the video before that. And I did mention that I have buy orders back down in this area, and I have one back down here as well, and also one down here. But I'm actually probably going to reschedule this one to a slightly higher so it matches this point that I just mentioned on the coin market cap sheet that we just showed you. Now, this is that point that I mentioned. It's around about 0.0027, and it marks basically the most lowest kind of support line that we've seen in the history of Verasity since it started. Okay, so, and that kind of confirms back here something that we saw here in February 2021 as well. And you can see there's a lot of activity around this area. That's why I drew it in originally. I did think about coming down a bit lower, but I think I will re-strategize that. If ever it does come back to this lower area, I might put some orders back in here. But I'm more interested right now in these particular areas of interest. And I wanted to also pull this out. Usually in a big bear market, or a full confirmation that a bear cycle is almost over, is usually looking at between 90 and 100% reduction in a price. And you see these top levels here, around about 9 cents roughly, I think it was. We have this takedown of around about 96.4%, taking us down to that level around about where we've just been saying, 0.0027. Now, I think in my mind, strategically, if I just pull this back up to here, sorry, I think we're just literally slightly off there, sorry, 95.44%. So you can see the mentality that I'm getting at here. We're at the very low regions. The risk is lower than if it was higher, obviously. So this is why I'm accumulating at this current area right now. And what I mean by that is I'm DCAing. I'm not going, oh, I've just been paid, or I've got a big chunk of money, I'm going to chuck it in right now. I'm doing it in strategic incremental values, because you don't know where the actual bottom is right now. There's too much instability. We don't know what's going on fully still with the macro events around the world and the market in general. Okay, I believe in Verasity in the project. This doesn't mean just because I say I think it might come lower means that the project is dead or rubbish. It's just the way the market goes, because irrelevant to the price, you can clearly see in their recent tokenomics and investment portfolio that they aren't going anywhere regardless of the price. As token holders, we have an opportunity basically to hold this and have hopefully some return over the next few years. So that's why I'm accumulating here, and I'm accumulating back down here. As I mentioned before, historically we've got big touch points here in history. After this point here in March or February 2021, it went up massively, and we have a big dwarf area, almost like a black hole, which we're now entering. We're entering back into this black hole, which means that we now need to essentially confirm this particular area as a support mechanism. That is what I think is playing out right now. Can we get support? The volumes have been reducing in the last few days, you can see, both down here and here, suggesting that people are still holding really strong. They're not significantly selling masses, but they're being strategic with their purchases and just being a bit cautious. We can see that in the indicators down here, which we'll go into in a bit more detail in a second. But this is why I'm also getting down here, because if we fail this support area or the lower regions of the fib retracement chart, that's where I think we could potentially come back down to these areas. And it's still within our remit of 100%, even if we came back down to the really, really low regions. That would essentially suggest that we're completely at the bottom. So that's my strategy. I'm accumulating now. If it goes back up, brilliant, we're making money. If it comes back down, brilliant, I'm accumulating because I want more Verasity at the cheapest prices possible. That is what I'm doing, guys, and this is why I'm doing it. We've mentioned it already. And as I said, the lower regions all the way back to the beginning of 2021 and almost the edge of 2020, we were at these lower regions back down here, which also actually coincides with, again, the low points that we saw here in February and the high points here in February 2020. This is almost a whole year, guys, of movement. And you can see that 2021 was beautiful for Verasity, and now we're paying the price for that big uptake. And I do think it will come back, and that's why also I'm really excited about Verasity. I think once we get to those top levels, it's going to take a long time. It's not going to be in a few months. I think we can really pull ourselves Verasity back up, at least over that sort of 27 cents mark is my first goal of achievement of selling Verasity, and then beyond that in the next few years, especially with this ad stacking tech and the things that they're doing in esports. Because trust me, Web3 esports and esports in general, it's going to go to another level in the next 2-3 years. And with the ad stack side of things, with more and more people online, more digital content than ever before, more streamers, more viewers, even in gaming, guys, let's remember something like over 700 million people watch games. This is crazy. So guys, that's my thought processes. That's what I'm doing. And let's look at the indicators quickly before we sign off on this video. The RSIs are still really, really low. Really good buying opportunities in my opinion. 28-day and the 14-day are indicating really good buy points, as is the 90-day if you're looking at a 3-month spectrum. As I said, I do think this could potentially come a bit lower. We have to see. And if we look actually at the indicators here, you can see the buying in is gradually decreasing. I'm not suggesting we're going to have a big sell-off again here, but we could have like a gradual downward trend. The performance indicators here are fluctuating a bit differently now. The 3 months and the 6 months are coming down very slowly. That's why I'm always indicating that I think we're like around this bottom region now. And this weekly and this monthly is still down. So I think there's plenty of opportunity here, guys. If you're not a Verasity holder or you're trying to accumulate, this is a good DCO opportunity in my opinion. Not financial advice, just exactly what I'm doing. That's all I can tell you is what I'm doing. And finally as well, just on the point about potentially switching over into a bit lower regions, we've had these nice bull moves, we are looking like we're narrowing significantly. We might do a touch over and maybe a crossover. So let's see how that plays out. That could be what potentially drags us down to the lower regions of the 0.003 mark, and arguably to test that support line. That's why I've got the 0.0027 ish order in my exchange. Guys, we're going to wrap that there. Hopefully that's been informative and interesting. Let us know what you're doing with Verasity. Are you waiting like I am for a bit as well? Are you strategically DCAing and you just accumulating Verasity as much as you can, or just don't believe in the project anymore? Either way, want to hear your comments and thoughts. Leave them down below. Guys, thank you so much for watching. It's been fun. We will see you in the next Verasity video. Bye-bye.